Hey guys, this is Anna Masker from Profit Point Consulting. Thank you for joining us for our next video called Yes, You Need a Budget. These videos are called Profit Points. They're little videos, maybe 5 minutes long with some big ideas. There are topics that we're using for, topics that we see with a lot of our clients and the feedback that we give to our clients and some of the advice, as well as just things that we see in the market and common topics we hear from small business owners related to their accounting and finance function. So here we go. We're going to talk about why you do need a budget today. And we get a lot of feedback from clients saying, I run my business by my gut. I really don't need a budget. By the time I go through the exercise of a budget, my business has changed and it's no longer valid. So we're going to talk about what a budget, 5 reasons why a budget is important to you. And we'll, in a future Profit Point video, we will give you some ideas on what the difference is between a budget and a forecast. But today we're going to talk about a budget, and typically a budget is something you set at the beginning of the year to lay out your financial roadmap. So 5 reasons why. Number 1, it's a benchmark from which you can measure your employees. So you want to get your business off on the right foot, and everyone needs to know what their goals are. And we want to make sure that when you're setting your goals for your employee, it's based off of a budget that is reasonable and as well as thought through. So, a lot of people give their employees a sales target, but they don't necessarily give them a profit margin from which to operate. But they also, if you don't go through a budgeting exercise, you don't know if the number of sales that you're bringing in is actually going to cover your costs. So it's a good way to get alignment within your organization. So that's reason number 1. Number 2 is you need to lay out the roadmap to get from where you are to where you want to be. And so a lot of times we hear business owners say, I'm going to double in size this year. And, I look at them kind of little, skeptically saying, well, how exactly are you going to get that done? And so when you start putting numbers to paper, you realize that it may not be physically possible to double in size from one year to another. And really put some metrics in place as to how many customers do you need in order to double in size? What kind of people do you need? So you really lay out the roadmap that way. The next is, it's a great exercise to understand how you currently are spending your money. And we love doing this exercise with our clients because it really gets them thinking. When we do a bottom-up budget, there's a couple different methodologies you can use for putting together a budget. But like when we start from the basics and the bottom up and we look at every single line item and everything that's involved in it, we really see, and our clients' eyes are open to, wow, I'm spending this much on that, or I'm spending, I have these subscriptions that I'm not even using. And so we actually do find a lot of cost cutting when we're doing budgeting. So it's a good exercise. It's kind of a dual exercise of looking forward, but also looking for cost savings along the way. It also helps you to understand what investment you're making and how your revenues and expenses interact with each other. And that's another thing, you can see how proportional things move up and down. It's a great exercise to see, where you can even save some money now. And the 4th thing is it forces you to start planning for upcoming events. And when I say that, it really says, okay, well, makes you sit down and look, how is my year going to pan out? Where are my seasonality in my business? Do I need to reserve money earlier in the year because I have a dip in the spring and summer? Or is the winter dead and I zoom, we really take off in the spring and summer and fall and winter. So you really need to understand how, when you lay out a budget, it really helps you understand the seasonality of your business. It helps you foresee, if a certain client is ending at some point, what do you need to do in order to compensate for that? Whether that's cost cutting or filling your pipeline even more. So it really makes you think about your business. It's really good exercise in planning for upcoming events. And the last thing is, you're too big to be flying blind. And I'm not talking, you don't have to have $1 million in revenue. You can have a couple $100,000 in revenue. Any business needs a budget. And that helps you to kind of benchmark yourself against where you thought you were going to be and give you some real solid goals in order to grow your business. Or, offset, unfortunately, in some cases, if your business is shrinking, it gives you your action plan and helps you think through what you're going to do for adverse events. So that's my little profit point on why you need a budget. So if you need help with generating a budget, or if you have any questions about this topic, feel free to reach out to me. Always available for questions. Here's my contact information, and I look forward to seeing you for our next Profit Point.